Okay, so how do you disable the thinking capability of a model in LM Studio? Well, the answer is it depends. On some models, it is quite easy. There is literally a toggle button that you can enable or disable, so you can decide when you want to use thinking or the non-thinking version of the model. But unfortunately, not all models in LM Studio will show you this toggle button when you are starting a message. For example, if I'm using Qwen 3.5 with 4 billion parameters, and this model has a thinking feature, but I don't have that toggle button whatsoever, so by default it is going to be using the thinking feature all the time, and that will make the experience when chatting with the model to be a lot slower. So how do you deal with this problem? How do you disable the thinking feature when the button or the toggle button is not even available? Well, there are two methods that you can try to disable the thinking mode on most local models in LM Studio. So let me show you how you can do it. But first, you have to eject the model first, and then you can navigate to My Models, and then on the model that you want to change the thinking setting, you can click Settings or click this gear icon, and then go to Inference, open System Prompt, and then you can basically tell AI to not use the thinking feature. One simple example is / and then no underscore think or no thinking. Now, after that, the setting should be applied automatically, and then you can go back to the main screen, and then you can reload the same model. I'm going to use Qwen 3.5 again. And as you can see, we got a new system prompt. Now, if I click regenerate message, okay, unfortunately, it is still using the thinking feature. So this is very common, especially when the model is quite small. So because of that, I guess we have to use the second method. Now I will just eject the model from my GPU, and then let's go back to my models. And here, given that the system prompt method doesn't work, I guess I'm going to remove that. And still in the inference menu, you want to scroll down and open prompt template. So there are two modes. Well, we want to use template Jinja format because that's just a lot simpler. So right here, you want to add a new line. Just put the cursor at the very beginning of this input area and then hit enter to create a new line. And after that, you can insert this this code, just one line, and that will tell AI to not use the thinking feature. That's actually a lot more reliable and should work on most models. So after that, you can go back to the main screen and then reload the same model again, and you'll see that this time around it won't use the thinking feature. There you go. So it's basically instant. There is no thinking. Now let me just make this very clear. I'm going to ask something like, please explain how gravity works in one paragraph. There you go. There is no thinking whatsoever. So this is going to be a lot faster because you don't have to wait for AI to think everything through before giving you the first token or the first word of the answer. So from the user's perspective, this is going to make the experience to be significantly faster. But there is one massive trade-off, and that is the quality of the answer. There is a benchmark from artificial analysis comparing various different local AI models, and as you can see here, we got actually some models with the same name because they are the same model but different settings. So right here, if you look closely, there is Gemma 4 with 31 billion parameters, and this one scores 39.2 with the reasoning enabled, thinking enabled. But the same model, Gemma 4, 31 billion parameters, without the thinking or without the reasoning capability, scores quite lower. It's actually 32. So that is just a one benchmark to show you that with a thinking feature, the model is not going to be as intelligent. So that is one trade-off that you need to consider when you are decided to not use the thinking feature of the model. But if you care more about the speed, if your particular use cases or scenarios would really demand speed over intelligence, then yeah, go for it. Just disable the thinking feature on the model in LM Studio. So that's basically how you can do it. And if you want to know or learn more about some AI tutorials or use cases from various different AI tools, then you can subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you on my future videos.